Okay, we're doing the case study of the Thomas Fire. I'm Dino Karakaidos.
I'm Andrew Espinoza. Along with us will be Lauren Baker Tubbs.
My name is Austin Flores.
And mine is Alex Konstantakis.
Case of the fire, the Ventura County Fire Department determined the cause of the Thomas Fire due to power lines coming in contact with each other. Line slap, strong winds, coast SoCal Edison power lines near Thomas Aquinas College to explode. In the electrical arc, igniting the grass below. Molten material was dropped onto the ground into the receptive fuel bed. Fueled by strong winds, the fire grew to 500 acres within an hour and crossed Highway 150 into Santa Paula.
As far as background information for the Thomas Fire, the strong winds caused the power lines to create contact with each other, igniting the grass below. The fire burned roughly 281,893 acres, approximately 440 square miles. It forced 104,607 residents to evacuate their homes, and there was tons of fatalities, including civilians. It affected at least 1,063 buildings, causing $2.2 billion in U.S. damages. With $230 million US spent towards suppression of the fire. The fire started December 4th, 2017 and ended January 12th, 2018. After 40 days of hard labor and determination, the Thomas Fire was controlled and fully extinguished. Again, over $200 million was spent battling the Thomas Fire. It destroyed over 1,000 structures in Southern California, and over 8,500 mobilized firefighters were called to fight the Thomas Fire.
Going over some of the fire behavior, according to the investigation report, the Thomas Fire burned down slope. Direction of the wind caused flames to threaten Santa Paula, Ventura, and Ojai. Area where the Thomas Fire burned was urban and also included mixed wildland. The Thomas Fire grew quickly and prompted mandatory evacuations. A fire reported on Koningsted Road 3 miles from the Thomas Fire was thought to be related to the Thomas Fire, but after analyzing wind patterns, reports from the other crews and locations, it was determined to be unrelated. Extreme fire behavior was observed by the inspectors of the Thomas Fire on Highway 150. Strong winds caused the Koningsted Fire to merge with the Thomas Fire. Deaths and injuries. The Thomas Fire claimed 2 lives, one being Cal Fire San Diego engineer Corey Iverson, and an evacuee, Virginia Ray Pisola. The fire also led to a mudslide in Montecito that killed 17 people. Iverson, 32 at the time of the death, was an FAA engineer who was based in Dulzura and worked with Cal Fire since 2009. He was sent with his crew to the Thomas Fire, where he and his crew were laying hose along a fire break on December 14th, 2017. When spot fires erupted, wind direction shifted, and his escape route was cut off. He died from burns and smoke inhalation. 21 civilian non-fatal injuries and 2 firefighters non-fatal injuries.
The cause of the firefighter deaths. According to a preliminary report released by CAL FIRE on December 14th, around 9 a.m., Corey Iverson and 4 other firefighters were working along a line cut by 2 bulldozers when a spot fire flared up. A fire captain acted as lookout as Iverson directed the team to stay in the safety zone. Each carried 300 feet of hose and Iverson carried a scraping tool. Iverson worked to put out the spot fire when another one was reported nearby. The small fires grew to much larger fires within minutes. With these spot fires growing fast, Iverson called for air support, which was his last confirmed radio transmission. As the fires ramped up, 4 firefighters were able to retreat up an escape route while Iverson continued to fight the flames. By 9:25 a.m., a captain had told Iverson to get out of there, and at 9:27 a.m., a captain called Mayday. More crews, including helicopters, responded and reported seeing Iverson retreating from the flames, but was forced to change directions as 2 spots erupted in his path. At times, only the top of his helmet could be seen, according to reports. As crews continued to try and douse the flames from the air, ground crews worked to cool a route to search for Iverson. At 10:05 a.m., his body was found in a deep gulch, the report states. No emergency fire shelter was deployed. Extreme fire behavior has been observed in California due to extremely dry brush and harsh wind conditions that has found fire retardant to be ineffective. The steep terrain, heavy vegetation, and dangerous weather conditions such as erratic winds and low humidity are all contributing factors to the extreme fire behavior. When fire activity changes frequently and moves in unexpected ways, it should require crews to stop and reevaluate the situation. When there was spot fires that prevented safe travel back to the dozer line, a reevaluation should have taken place, the report states. Poor situational awareness and lack of recognition of the possibility of extreme fire behavior are relevant in the firefighter's death. The fire captain on lookout could possibly have been more preemptive in signaling to Iverson in retreating faster. There were 2 safety meetings before the shift started the day before, but it's unknown what was said at those meetings. Given the dangerous weather conditions, it is possible these safety meetings could have gave more warning as to possible situations that could present, such as the extreme fire behavior. Before the fire occurred, California was in a period of prolonged drought, leading to an increased amount of dry vegetation. The surrounding vegetation in the area had lost its coolant, water, leading to fuel that had very little heat sinks to stop the spread. Due to the location of the fire, the Santa Ana winds, with gusts over 60 miles per hour, helped fuel the fire and increase the spread. The thick smoke created by the fire limited communications and visibility, affecting situational awareness. Fueled by Santa Ana winds, it spread 15 miles, eating up the equivalent of an acre per second. On Saturday, it traveled 6 miles. A few days later, it grew to 61,000 acres, on another by 50,000. The fire damaged the water pumping system in Ojai, and the entire water system stopped working, preventing firefighters from being able to use hydrants. The fire inspector found natural gas being emitted by a pipe in oil facilities in Onloff Canyon. This helped fuel the fire and spread the fire throughout the canyon. At the time of the Thomas fire, the state was also battling the Rye fire and the Creek fire, which resulted in forces and resources. Both fires were north of the Thomas fire, eventually merging them all together.
Okay, so going over some of the graphs, the first one on the left shows the fire progression color coded by with days, and then on the right it's going to do an overview of the entire fire, and then in the bottom right more pictures of it. On the left side it's debris hazards, yellow being low and then red being high, and then on the right side it shows the wind speeds compared to the fire itself.
All right, the Iverson Foundation. On December 17, 2017, Corey Iverson lost his life in the Thomas fire, leaving behind his wife, Ashley, and 2 daughters. Just 1 month prior to Corey's death, a colleague took his own life. He was a fire captain with CAL FIRE San Diego unit, also leaving behind a wife and child. He took his own life because he was suffering from PTSD and mental illness from the job he was working. Ashley, Corey's wife, created IFAA, Iverson Foundation for Active Awareness, to help firefighters cope and deal with stress, PTSD, and mental illness. She thought it would be a great mission and foundation for current firefighters while carrying on her husband's name and legacy. While also dealing with her own PTSD, when she was a teenager, she lost her home due to an arson fire. IFAA, Iverson Foundation for Active Awareness, has offered free yoga classes for first responders as a helping mechanism if they have any stress, PTSD, or mental issues, as well as getting anyone free counseling. Heroes are never forgotten. Now here's our works cited page. And that wraps up our presentation of the Thomas fire. Hope everyone learned a little bit, and thanks for watching.